Why, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Truly Odd podcast, where we bring you the latest in game news and movie news. I am your host, Joe Garcia. So grab your controllers, get your popcorn, and let's go ahead and dive right on into the topic, shall we? And I would like to say happy Friday, everyone. I hope everyone's going to have a great weekend ahead of you. But let's go ahead and jump right into our first game news topic of the day. And Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection has a bit of an update for us, letting us know that Digital Eclipse confirms 11 titles spanning arcade, console, and handheld platforms. Here's the list of games right here, starting with Mortal Kombat 1 through 3 from the arcade versions. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, Mortal Kombat 4, Mortal Kombat Mythology of Sub-Zero, Mortal Kombat Special Forces, and from the handheld games Mortal Kombat Advance, Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, and Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition. From 2003. So those are the games that are going to be included in this collector's edition. It will be coming out on all platforms. If you're curious what those are, I have it listed right here: PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, Switch 2, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, the original Switch, and PC. So it's looking like an awesome collection that they have going on here. A lot of things are included, and that's very exciting. Let's see if there's any other additional ones. The collection features the long lost WaveNet Arcade Edition Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, notable for the online matchmaking and Noob Saibot as a playable character. So if you have not had that in your collection or have not played that in quite some time, this will be your opportunity to check it out. And I think this is a really awesome collection, and I'm looking forward to possibly checking this out. And mind you, there's so many games being announced, so you're going to have a lot of money to get all these cool things. But if you have the money, congratulations to you. I think it's really awesome for a lot of these games to be coming out and being released. Let's go ahead and move on to our next game news topic of the day. And our next topic is about the Bungie CEO leaving the company after 23 years. So let's go ahead and take a look here. After 23 years at Bungie and nearly a decade as CEO, Pete Parsons is retiring and being replaced by Justin Turman. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing his name wrong. He is currently the chief development officer and is stepping in as the studio head for Peter Parsons. Parsons oversaw Bungie's split from Activision, its $2.37 billion acquisition by Sony, and multiple rounds of layoffs amid declining Destiny 2 performance and delays to Marathon. Bungie faces reduced independence under Sony, a small workforce, and community criticism. The new CEO, or the person stepping in for the head of studio, wants to do the following. He commits to rebuilding trust and delivering on Destiny and Marathon later this year. So I'm not sure if this was a wanted retirement. It seems to be a forced retirement, as his performance as CEO has kind of dwindled over the past couple years. His initial progression was very good, with leaving of Activision and going into Destiny 1. And then now with the decline of Destiny 2 and leading into Marathon and kind of its failure and a lot of the criticism from fans and stuff like that, and Sony having to come in and kind of take over the whole process of development for Marathon and kind of giving them less creative control, I guess you could say. I think this is more of a forced retirement for Peter Parsons and for them to kind of steer the ship. They probably asked him either to retire on his own or he can leave and be replaced after his contract. And this is probably what they ended up deciding to do as he retire. But let me know what you guys think. Are you sad to see him leave as CEO? I think it's time to bring in some new foresight and some new people in on board to take a look at the creative and get things on a better track. He's done a good job for what he did, but over the years, not so good as CEO position in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Moving on to our next game news topic of the day. With the Battlefield 6 beta being completed, it looks like changes are being planned for the Battlefield coming from DICE. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the things that they plan on changing here. DICE is nerfing slide jump momentum, penalizing jump spanning, and increasing inaccuracy during aerial gunplay to restore a more tactical battlefield pace. So it looks like for the players that like to jump around as they shoot and kind of prevent other people from hitting them, they're going to be penalizing that. How they're going to do this, who knows? It could be, kind of maybe a stamina meter thing where you can't jump after a while, which is really interesting because I haven't seen a lot of games do that. I've seen more games lean into that, like Call of Duty kind of leans into that, where they make it so you can kind of jump around and stuff like that. And a lot of people use that to avoid getting hit from the auto aim features on consoles, and from generally people having to aim on their own when auto aim's not included. So a lot of people tend to go for headshots, and they should probably adjust their settings and their controls to make it their own. But I do think this is interesting. I'm a person that kind of gets annoyed a bit at the jump spamming from other players, so it's going to be interesting to see how they implement this. But that's just one of the changes. Some other change, or one of the few changes that they're going to make. Some other changes that they plan on making is based on player feedback. Rush will be defaulted to lower player counts to 12v12 to improve flow and strategy, according to what they have here. Large scale maps like Mark Valley, forgive me if I'm pronouncing these wrong, and Operation Firestorm are confirmed for launch, with additional tuning and new content coming through Battlefield Labs and the roadmap to Battlefield 6 pass. So if you guys are interested in some of these changes, that's some of the things that are going on. Let me know what you guys think of them kind of penalizing the jump spamming. I think that's going to be interesting, and I'm very curious how they're going to do that. And who knows, if it ends up being a bad feature and it doesn't work well, they can always roll things back. We'll see what ends up happening. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Moving over to our next movie or game news topic of the day, it looks like there's rumors that Resident Evil Code Veronica Remake is currently being developed by the same team that did Resident Evil 2 and 4 Remake. Let's go ahead and take a look here. This comes to us from leaker Dusk Golem. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but Dusk Golem now claims that the remake is being developed with a budget comparable to Resident Evil 2 and 4, reversing earlier suggestions that it would be less ambitious. The project is reportedly handled by the same team behind Capcom's acclaimed remakes of and with The project is reportedly handled by the same team behind Capcom's acclaimed remakes, with Resident Evil 0 likely to be released before Code Veronica. And Capcom plans to celebrate Resident Evil's 30th anniversary in 2026 with the release of Resident Evil Requiem on February 27th, while spacing out major launches to avoid overlapping. So possibly we might be getting Resident Evil 0 sometime in 2026 also. We'll have to wait and see there. But I do think this is cool that they're remaking Code Veronica. I think these Resident Evil remakes have been very beneficial for players that didn't get a chance to play it, or people that didn't get a chance to beat it when they were younger. Now they can go ahead and take over and do it for themselves. Like me, for example, I didn't know what the hell to do in the original Resident Evil. I didn't know how to progress. I got lost. I got confused because, you're just a kid when you play those games. So now as an adult, I know what the hell I'm doing now, and I'm currently playing Resident Evil 4 Remake, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm kind of working backwards. For some reason, we did Resident Evil Biohazard, and then Resident Evil Village, and then now we're doing Resident Evil 4. So I'm going to eventually have to start with 1 and work my way up to 3. But I'm very excited to start getting into these remakes, and I think they're fun games to play, and I'm having a good time so far. But let me know what you guys think. Are you excited for a remake of Resident Evil Code Veronica? Are you hoping you get it in 2026 or in 2027? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Oops, clicked on the wrong thing. Moving over to our last game news topic of the day. It looks like Call of Duty Black Ops 7's campaign will not have a difficulty option. This comes to us from IGN and a statement from Treyarch explaining the following. Unlike past entries in Black Ops, Black Ops 7 removes manual difficulty settings. The campaign challenging level is baked in. Hold on. I'm gonna start that over, guys. Sorry, dyslexic and stupid, but let's do that over again. Unlike past entries, Black Ops 7 removes manual difficulty settings. The campaign challenge level is baked in to the game and scales automatically based on solo and co-op play. Missions are tailored to 1 to 4 players with combat balance adjusted to ensure acro- constant challenge across sequels squad size. Jesus Christ, my dyslexia is kicking in hard right now, so we're just gonna skip that last portion of that fucking sentence. But anyways, basically, they're not gonna let you select difficulty. It's going to adjust per how you're playing the game, and I think this is kind of interesting. Not a lot of games do that. It is beneficial for players. So basically, what they're going to do is if you're playing a certain section of the game and you're constantly dying, then the game is going to adjust itself to lower the difficulty so you can progress forward. And I do find this interesting because I do know a lot of players like to challenge themselves on hard difficulty speed runs. So I'm very curious how they're going to do that. I'm sure eventually they're going to have to include some type of setting that will allow players to do this, because I know players like playing on legendary difficulty and things of that sort as they play certain games. Sometimes squads want more of a challenge, and so if you're progressing through a level very easily, it's going to up the difficulty. If you're having a difficult time and you die constantly, they're going to lower the difficulty on their own. I guess it's beneficial. I feel like it's going to be good for this type of game and what they're developing with the futuristic settings and the crazy chaotic things going on. But let me know what you guys think. Were you hoping for more of a manual choice, or do you like this automatic decision of where your difficulty level is going to be at? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And that does it for our video game news topics of the day. We're going to go ahead and move on to our movie news topics of the day. And our first topic is going to be talking about Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 1, which I had a chance to watch last night, and it was a lot of fun. I guess you can call this a short review. I am going to get a bit spoilery, so if you don't want to know any details, I suggest you guys jump ahead. And one of the first things I want to mention is this Peacemaker show really emphasizes that DC is not afraid to go rated R, as there is an orgy scene in this episode, and it's very, very graphic as far as, you see penises, you see ass, you see titties, you see a bunch of shit, and it's really interesting for a show, for a universe like this to really just jump into crazy chaoticness after having a Superman debut. So very interesting things going on in the DCU right now. I'm loving that they're not afraid to either do PG-13, rated R, or anything, and even animated shows. So I think this is a really cool and interesting way to start their franchise. And Peacemaker Season 2 is already off to a great start. They kind of retcon some stuff at the beginning of the show. So if you remember Season 1, it kind of ends with the Justice League showing up, kind of shallow silhouetted, and Barry and Flash talk to each, or not Barry, Aquaman and Flash talk to each other after Peacemaker tells them they're late and they're a bunch of bitches and that Aquaman fucks fish. And then so they kind of changed that up, and now you see the silhouette of Mr. Terrific, Superman, Hawk Girl, Green Lantern, and even Supergirl. You see her there as well, all silhouetted. And then this time it cuts to Hawk Girl and Green Lantern talking in Nathan Fillion. So I do think that's an interesting change that they're making, but it also a bit confusing for me because does that mean that Suicide Squad is canon to the new DCU? Does that mean Margot Robbie's are Harley Quinn? Because if you're pulling Margot Robbie and you're pulling Amanda Waller and you're pulling all other characters that were represented in the past Suicide Squad movie, meaning the David Ayer one with Jared Leto as Joker, does that mean Jared Leto's our Joker, or is it kind of the DCU starts with the Suicide Squad? I'm very curious how they're going to do that, or maybe we're already seeing a Peacemaker from a different universe. There's just a lot of questions I have regarding that. I know you can kind of retcon it, so yeah, it is in that universe, but seeing as he kind of represents the Peacemaker from the movie, I guess that makes the Suicide Squad movie canon. So just questions I have there. I'm sure I could look it up. I'm sure there's an answer, but that's just one thing I have. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Is the Suicide Squad canon. But overall, for a first episode of a season, I did find it exciting. I found it a lot of fun, and I'm very interested to see where the rest of the season goes. I didn't want to get into too many spoilers because there's a lot going on in this episode, but I thoroughly enjoyed this first episode, and I look forward to seeing the next one. But let me know what you guys thought of Peacemaker in the comments down below. Let's go ahead and move on to our next movie news topic of the day, and it's about the Pitt Season 2. So let's go ahead and take a look here. There is a trailer if you guys are interested in seeing it. You can go ahead and go into the description down below. I'll have links to all these articles and information if you guys want to check it out for yourself and watch these trailers for yourself. Anyways, HBO Max confirmed on... Oh, excuse me. I think I kicked my camera. Let me adjust this. Anyways, HBO Max confirms on January 2026. Confirms a January 2026 release with a new season set during a chaotic 4th of July weekend and featuring a 10-month time jump from season 1. Noah Wallace's Robbie will be back, joined by returning staff of new characters, including medical students and Dr. Langdon, who returns from rehab. Following a 13 Emmy nominations and Gotham TV award wins, The Pitt continues its real-time format, spotlighting frontline medical crisis and personal drama as Pittsburgh's traumatic medical center. I thoroughly loved The Pitt. If you have not seen The Pitt on HBO Max, I give it a recommendation. You know, my initial thoughts going into it, as I thought it was going to be like the typical, medical drama with spanning multiple episodes, years, months, or whatever, and just different stories being told. But no, each story in The Pitt is 1 hour of what's happening in this medical center. So I believe there was 16 episodes, so 16 hours, and each episode is 1 hour of what's going on during that work shift, and it was phenomenal. Things flowed naturally. The acting was great. The medical advice was, I'm sure not 100% accurate, but if you watch Dr. Mike and stuff like that, who review stuff like that and kind of tell you, really cool seeing stuff like this, and I thought this show was phenomenal, and I'm so excited to see this next season. I think this next season is going to be cool. But one of the things I really wanted to highlight is how quickly of a turnaround this is. We live in an era now where streaming TV shows take 2 to 3 years to be developed. I mean, House of the Dragon came out when? Let's see. If you guys are interested in House of the Dragon for HBO, let's see. House of the Dragon came out in 2022. We're coming up on 2025, and we're still not getting a season 3. We're probably going to be getting season 3 next year. So it's taking so long to develop these shows. And I know people are like, oh, there's so much CGI and shit like that. But shows on TV, while I understandably season 2's kind of got greenlit more faster on TV shows, seasons now with TV shows, usually season 1 needs to be successful before season 2 gets green light. But knowing that, having a prepared script, having a preparation for season 2 is more beneficial for shows, and I'm curious why they don't do this more frequently. Having us wait so long for the next season for shows is kind of not beneficial. I mean, I'm kind of over the whole fucking Stranger Things thing at this point because it's been so goddamn long. I'm sure when it comes out, I'll be more excited and check it out, but I'm tired of such long wait times between shows. It feels like One Piece at this point. We're just waiting and waiting to get caught up with the goddamn anime, or caught up with the damn manga. But that's just besides the point. I'm loving that HBO is taking The Pitt and doing this, and hopefully we get season 3 a year from now. It's going to be, I think The Pitt's season 2 is releasing almost exactly 1 year from the season 1 release. So that's very exciting news, and I hope shows continue to do this. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Have you seen The Pitt? Are you excited for season 2? Let me know what you guys think. Moving on to our next movie news topic of the day. It looks like The Cat in the Hat lands a new release date of November 2026. So I guess you can call it a delay, but I don't think they're doing it for delaying reasons. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Warner Brothers is moving the film's theatrical release from February 26 to November 6, 2026, aiming to capitalize on the holiday season. The film is directed by Alessandro Colino and Eric Rivinoha. I'm pronouncing that horribly fucking wrong, but oh well. The film stars Bill Hader as Cat in the Hat alongside voice casting including Quantum Burson, uh, Bohan Huang, America Ferrera, and Giancarlo Esposito. Forgive me, guys. This marks the character's first animated feature, launching Warner Brothers Pictures' animated new slate in partnership with Dr. Seuss Enterprise. So this is probably the first in many new Dr. Seuss adaptations animated that we're going to be getting. Which is exciting if you're a big Dr. Seuss fan and a lot of the stories that he has told over the years. If you grew up on that, like I did, so that's exciting news. But this is the first kind of delay that I've seen that's not necessarily because of problems with the movie, but more looking forward to benefit for a later release. As February doesn't necessarily have a lot of time for families to go see it, and December, a lot of students are off and kind of want to get the kids. And let's see what's going to be November. Sorry, I said December. So November leading into Thanksgiving. So let's see what else is going to be released in November of 2026. Let's see. Because I am curious what the competition was going to be. Will be, I mean. Let's see. Movie releases. Currently, I'm not seeing much going on for 2026. We got The Cat in the Hat, Untitled Marvel movie in November, so that's counter programming for November 6th. Let's see here. What else we got? The Hunger Games Sunrise of Reaping, which is another counter programming. Counter programming basically means that Cat in the Hat being animated, family friendly for kids, whereas Marvel kind of for kids, not necessarily more the 13 old and older range, and Hunger Games also being a 13 older range, kind of similarities there. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything other. Chronicles of Narnia reboot coming out on Thanksgiving, so it looks like Dr. Seuss the Cat in the Hat's going to have its own window for kids movies in November, and I think that's beneficial for them in the studio. So it makes sense that they did this time jump. But let me know what you guys think. Are you excited for this Cat in the Hat movie? Are you sad that you have to wait a little longer? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Let's go ahead and move on to our next movie news topic of the day. It looks like Karen Gillan joins Henry Cavill in the Highlander remake. You don't know who Karen Gillan is? She plays Nebula in the MCU, and she's also one of the heroes in the Jumanji movie. She's the redhead. If you're not watching this visually, so let's go ahead and take a look here. Karen Gillan joins Henry Cavill, Russell Crowe, Dave Bautista, and Marissa Abela in Amazon MGM's reboot of the 1986 cult classic, going to be directed by John Wick's Chad Stahelski, which I think is awesome. If he brings that action vibe to Highlander, that'll be super beneficial for us as fans. Anyways, Cavill is going to play the immortal warrior Connor McLeod. Russell Crowe will be playing his mentor Ramirez. Dave Bautista is going to be playing the villain the Kurgan. Karen Gillan's going to be portraying Connor McLeod's mortal wife and love interest Heather. The film is being set to. The film is going to be. The filming begins in September, with Karen Gillan potentially adding a third major franchise to her resume, alongside Guardians of the Galaxy and the Jumanji franchise. I think this is freaking awesome. I cannot wait for a Highlander. Now, mind you, the 1986 movie, while a lot of fans and people like it, not really it kind of fell off with the sequels not being so good and stuff like that, but the original Highlander is really good, really beneficial, or not, I keep saying beneficial, I don't mean to say that, really a great movie overall. I love Clancy Brown. If you don't know who Clancy Brown is, he's the voice of Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob, and he's a great actor. I loved him as the Kurgan in the original. I think Dave Bautista taking over the role of the Kurgan could be very interesting. I'm curious how that's going to turn out. As far as Henry Cavill, it's nice to have him star and portray Connor McLeod, because after what's happened to him in Superman and things like that, I would love to him to have his own franchise or really take over a character and start something new. And the director, Chad Stahelski, let's see what else he's direct besides the John Wick franchise. I'm very curious to see. If I'm not mistaken, was he the one that did Deadpool 2 as well? Or was he the one that stayed on? Because if I recall, there was two directors for the original John Wick, or two stunt guys, and one of them stayed on for the John Wick franchise. and the other one kind of moved on to do other things like Deadpool 2 and stuff like that. I'm just curious which one he is. Let's go ahead and take a look at his directorial work, not his stunt work, not his producing work, his directing work. Let's see here. So he has directed. Oh yeah, John Wick 1, 2, 3, and 4. He has directed. So I think this is awesome. He also has a ridiculous slate of movies that he's currently developing. He's developing Highlander, Black Samurai, Vice City, Rainbow Six, Killer Be Killed, and just a lot of movies that are in production development and stuff like that. So I think this is great. He's done a great job with the John Wick films, and I cannot wait to see what he does with the movie like the Highlander, and actually taking swordplay and combat in these immortal characters and really utilize them in a great way. And I think Karen Gillan is a phenomenal actress, very beautiful in my opinion. I love redheads. Who doesn't? But I think this is really going to be a great movie, and I cannot wait to check it out. But let me know what you guys think of this in the comments down below. Moving over to our last movie news topic of the day. It looks like Superman is the first superhero pick of the year to fly past the $600 million goal, and has now become a success for the studio. Now, a lot of people are online are saying how it doesn't catch up to Man of Steel because Man of Steel made over like $670 million at the box office. Let's make sure if I got that right number. Man of Steel box office. So the Man of Steel box office was as follows. So the global box office for Man of Steel was $670 million. So this movie is about $70 million behind. Let's see the exact number here, shall we? I want to make sure we got the exact number because I know it's above 600 million, but it's at 598. But today it's going to pass the $600 million mark. But Box Office Mojo hasn't updated as of yet. But let's go ahead and break this down for you guys. Why I think this is a success. While the original studio really took a lot of backlash from the Man of Steel. People in the Man of Steel reviewing it and saying how the dark tone and things like that, people complaining about it. So they really wanted to make major adjustments to it. While they kept Zack Snyder on, they kind of wanted to make major adjustments to Superman. So even though it made a decent amount of money in $670 million, a lot of the voices criticizing the movie really took hold, and they didn't really have a set vision of what they wanted their DCU to be. But this is great, and I'll tell you why. The last 6 DC movies didn't make it past the $500 million mark, if I'm correct. I want to break this down for you guys. So the last 6 DC movies, and mind you, these aren't all DCEU movies. These are just DC movies in general. So let's go ahead and break this down. Back in 2002, Black Adam made $393 million. Shazam! Fury of the Gods. This is all worldwide, mind you. In 2023, made $134 million worldwide. The Flash in 2023 made $271 million worldwide. Blue Beetle made $130 million worldwide. And Aquaman the Lost Kingdom, which the previous movie made $1 billion or more than $1 billion, made $440 million worldwide. Joker Folie à Deux made $207 million worldwide. So, not even passing the $500 million marks in the last 6 movies that they developed. But the only movie to pass the $500 and $600 million mark in the past couple years was the Batman in 2022 that made $772 million. So the DCEU just was a complete failure for them, causing movies like this to just fail miserably and have a dwindling box office. Whereas the Batman, which was a new franchise and completely on its own outside the universe, was able to make $700 million. So them restarting their universe, making the $600 million mark. And mind you, while it's come out on theatrical, and while it come out on digital already, and you can buy it digitally, it's still in theaters. So it's still going to make some money. So I'm thinking it's going to stop around the $610 million mark. We'll have to see what happens this weekend. But I think it's great for the studio that they did this reboot and this reset. And people calling Superman a failure, Superman lackluster, Superman's losing the studio money. Bullshit. All bullshit. It's not only profitable, it's already starting a good universe and already in a great place starting out the DCU. Now, mind you, if the DCU was in a better place, they would have continued with it and a Superman sequel would have probably made $1 billion. This is a great start for the universe and hopefully it leads into better films. This is going to up the sales for Supergirl movie, which will be released I think sometime next year. So that's beneficial for us as well. We're going to see Lobo and things like that. So, but let me know what you guys think of Superman making reaching the $600 million mark. Do you think, like me, that this is good for the start of the franchise, or do you think they should have done better? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Truly Odd Podcast, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. And always, guys, remember, stay true, be odd.